Vexed by technology? Not anymore. I'm David Yak here, and this is Yak About Tech. Hey, what's up, everybody? You are watching, hopefully, and listening to Yak About Tech, your GPS guide to everyday technology and the impact it has on our daily lives. We are broadcasting today from the Planet Vero Studios, home of iHeartRadio's Waxy 107.9 and 1370, where the fish and sharks are always biting. All right, here we are again on a beautiful Monday or Friday or whenever you're listening to this. But we are live streaming again. It is our summer of fun, and we'd love to, we've been trying to bring you along with us as we experiment with all our new technology in our new 6-camera studio that Wayne Dillon built for us. And we are learning by the moment. And for those of you who ever thought you were losing your temper because something didn't work, your computer or the TV or the cable system or your phone, and you got stressed out, and some tech person walks over to you and says, you know, oh, it's so easy. What are you getting stressed out over? Well, let me remind you, you can stop by our studio as we were trying to put in this technology and see what stress sometimes can do.
I thought you were inviting them to come and let you solve their problem.
No.
You're just saying misery loves company.
I am. I just, you know, the whole idea of the show, the thing that we've been trying to do all summer, Sally, is sort of bring the audience along with us. You know, we started out the summer and said, okay, this is our big summer of experimentation, and we're going to start putting video in, and we're building a new station, Planet Vero TV, and actually putting our content together and learning how to get the best of radio and video, knowing that, you know, the time has come for, you know, us to be in video land and on the internet.
And really, there are so many great benefits to what we're doing now. We're just sort of on a learning curve and all stretching our comfort zone. Yeah.
And again, I think learning is the key here, and hopefully we're building, you know, better content for our listeners and make it more enjoyable. So if you are watching, you are watching us live. So I thought we'd do something interesting today, Sally. One of the questions I always get, and I'm going to dedicate probably most of the half hour to this, is I get interesting questions like, well, what programs do you use? Or what's on your iPhone? Or what's on your iPad or tablet? And I had other plans for this week's show, actually. We had a guest that I was really interested in bringing to our public this week, and hopefully we'll have her next week. So I thought I'd take the time while we had the space and sort of go through what's on my iPhone or what's on my iPad. And here's something we've been talking a great deal about, Sally, that the people watching live right now will see this and just, you know, watch me talk about what's on the iPad or the iPhone, and I am holding it up for your view right now. But if you watch later, and I'll tell you where to go, right, I will actually insert the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So the idea here is that
that's cool.
We'll take you through it now. We'll talk through it.
A little post-production.
Exactly. We'll go into post, as they say in the biz, and we'll insert pictures and show you how things work.
Now, actually, we do have the capability to do this in real time. We're just all newbies.
That's right.
Or at least your producer is a newbie to it.
That's right. And Wayne, who's building it out, there's really almost, there's only a certain amount we could push him to get done every week. He's been, you know, we talk about it all the time. For those of you who have been watching and listening to Yak About Tech, you know that Wayne Dillon's been building out this studio almost on 20 hours a day, the video capabilities and learning all the new software and all the new tools that go into producing video.
Well, and also we have an awesome studio here, but it was built for radio, so we're trying to retrofit it. And we've had furniture come in, and furniture go out.
That's right.
And tablecloths come in, and tablecloths go out, and we're just trying to find the look that we're trying to style it as well. So
it is ever changing, and we're adapting to it. And some of our co-hosts are adapting better than others, and
it's unanimous. Nobody liked the couch. It was too comfy, and everybody slouched in it.
We don't have a picture of our new furniture, or we're not going to switch a camera now. Anyway, okay. We'll
actually, look, I can do this.
All right.
And there's the whole place.
That's right. There I am looking at the TV, and there's, I actually get confused. This is that whole mirror effect type of thing. Every time I look at Sally, it shows that I'm looking in the wrong direction. But anyway, we'll all get used to it, and we'll all get better at it. All right. So let me tell you about where we are right now on livestream.com. That's live, L-I-V-E, stream.com. And if you look for Planet Vero or Yak About Tech, you'll find these broadcasts, so you can watch them now or later. Also, you can always watch them at yakabouttech.com. And if you're just listening and you want to be notified whenever there's a new show and you want to listen to it in the car or on your headphones, you can go to iTunes and, of course, TuneIn Radio. And for those of you who are following Yak About Tech on YouTube, we always post the videos there. Okay, and so we've done all that. So I've been asked, where are we in our time? Okay, so we're early. This is great. So what I have in front of me...
Your apps. I'm interested in that. Although, let's just talk a little bit about the difference between Android and iPhone when it comes to apps. Not all are available for Android, right?
Well, it works both ways. Apple has a much tighter control system than Google does. Google makes the operating system for the Android phones, and Apple makes the operating system and the hardware. So just to simplify it for everybody, those are the two main operating systems and phones out there. Except in the Apple world, because Apple controls the building of the hardware and the software, it is able to control every aspect of the programming and how the phone works with the programs. Whereas Google leaves the phones to be made by some of the biggest manufacturers. Many of you out there have Samsung, which is probably the most popular of the Android phones, and LG makes them, and Motorola. Motorola makes a very nice phone. In fact, I'm a big fan of Motorola. But in the Google Play Store, they have less restrictions.
Oh, you can get an app bomb for sure.
And but Google promises they're going to put tighter restrictions on the apps, check them to make sure they're not bug infested or have malware.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, but they'll do it because Apple does a fairly good job. I mean, every once in a while, very infrequently, it'll get past the Apple checker. So
I know we want to get to your apps, but I have one quick thing I want to say.
All right.
I've downloaded some more apps. Actually, since we've been talking about it, I've become more app savvy.
Okay.
But the downside is one of these apps had something right in on my phone, and now my phone blinks. Even when it's in, resting mode, it'll blink back on and show me the time. And so I don't get 24 hours anymore out of my phone charge. I used to get 2 to 3 days from it. And ever since this blinking that came along on an app has occurred, so Wayno says I've got to go back to the store and start all over, get my phone reset.
Well, there is a way to sort of troubleshoot that before you get there.
Oh.
If you can remember what the last series of apps you downloaded, right? You can try erasing them one by one and starting the phone, or erase the last 10 apps, that you downloaded, because you can always go back and, make a note of which apps they are, which apps you like, and take them out one by one and restart the phone and see if it's any of those apps that have taken control of the phone.
Okay.
And again, I'm not sure you'll remember when you downloaded what apps, but if you do, and you know when it started and what apps you may have downloaded after that, from that point on, just take them off your phone, see if that corrects the situation.
Okay.
And you can...
Good advice.
And usually you don't really...
From the Yak Man, the Tech Man.
That's right. And you shouldn't actually have to go back to the one of the phone companies to do it, you should be able to reset your phone right at home. So it starts again, from scratch. It'll have a reset. It has a reset tool.
Oh.
So it makes it almost brand new.
Okay.
And then you just start again. All right. So, we were talking about malware. So you just informed me, and we were just watching a video that was playing on, I believe, Fox News about, and this again is Android situation. But those of you, we have cameras built into our phones, and we often use the flash for when we take pictures. And a lot of programmers came out with flashlight apps, which allow you to take out your phone and just turn on the flash and use it like a flashlight. In the Android world, apparently a couple of those apps have malware attached to them, and they are actually raiding your phone for all the information about you that's on the phone, from bank accounts to just personal information and your passwords. And they've tracked it to sort of the three big centers of hacking, and that's China, Russia, and India. So
scary stuff.
Yeah, I would erase your flashlights apps if you have it on Android. It doesn't apply to those of you who have the newer operating systems from Apple, because Apple's iOS has the flashlight actually integrated and built into the system. So it's not a separate program anymore.
Cool.
All right.
Well, when we come back from the break, can we hear about your apps with the ones you enjoy the most?
I know it's not. I'm just going to tell people how I've set up my phone and how I get use out of it. So we'll come back, and this is Yak About Tech. Let's take a break.
Dollars are welcome. 231-7299.
And we are back. Hi, this is David Yak here. I'm here with Sally, and we are going to go through my phone, and I'll tell you what it is. People have been sending me messages saying, "Oh, what apps do you use, and what apps do you use for mail? What apps do you use, to communicate and all that?" So I thought what I do is sort of take a look and tell you how I function. I use, as you can imagine, I use my tech all day. I sort of live with either my iPad or my iPhone at my side all day. And of course, I use my computers when I need even more functionality. But these days, we can do mostly everything we need to do.
You live with your computer. Skynet is here.
I do. But what I did want to say first is that I was listening to the commercials that run in between, and I wanted to talk about the sponsorship of these shows. We have really great relationships with many of the local businesses in our community. And one of the great things about sponsoring our shows is that we don't just take any sponsor. And you've heard me, because we're sponsored by New Vision Eye Center. And you know how I talk about them, because we have a relationship with them. We understand how great they are in their field. And so
I got the opportunity to meet the new fellowship trained Dr. Reinauer. He's such a nice man.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an incredible reputation, and he made his way into our community, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
I think the point is, first, I really did want to call out New Vision Eye Center, because I'm really proud to have them as a sponsor of Yak About Tech. And I keep saying this, and I can't get them to free up enough time, but we are going to have them here on the show, and we're going to talk about the latest tech in eye care. So, Sally, you make sure that we put a lot of pressure on them to get here. Because I want to talk to them.
It is truly a high tech industry, and they use computer guided lasers in order to minimally make the procedures minimally invasive. It's just awesome. Yeah. I love what technology can do for us restoring vision.
And I think I told you last week, I think my community is in love with these guys. They keep telling me, "Oh, I go to your guys." So
Dr. Minotti.
Yeah, Dr. Minotti.
And then there's Dr. Tate and Dr. Meyer and Dr. Reinauer and right. Dr. O'Brien, who will make you look younger.
Yeah, about that. Hey guys, I'll be right there after the show. All right. So that's great. And that's an example of how we feel about our sponsors. And we'll talk to more businesses about, sponsoring the content that we do on Waxy and Planet Vero. All right. So let's get back to this. We're about 17 minutes after. So, I thought I'd approach it this way. It's sort of not, I'm not doing a favorite apps, nor am I going to go into detail. But somebody asked me in a letter, what does your phone look like? When I look at your phone, what apps am I going to see on the first page? What do you have in your dock? That type of thing. And I was looking at my phone, and one of the things is my first page of apps are the apps that I live with. And then usually it goes 2 or 3 pages filled with a lot of apps that I'm always testing out for one reason or another, whether to recommend or to write about. But it is, the first page is how I live.
Yeah, so tell us, who are your preferred children?
So, but this is interesting. I realized that, so on the bottom dock are the apps, and most people keep these apps in place. It's almost universal. I keep the messages app, and the mail app, my browser, and the phone.
And the phone, right. Okay, that sounds normal.
So that's normal. Okay, so going from top left to right, I always keep my settings because I'm constantly adjusting the settings of the phone. I'm shutting off notifications or I'm changing something in the system. So for me, the first thing I need access to is the settings. And I'm talking actually from an iPhone right now. I don't have an Android, so I'm not going to speak to that. The second one is the App Store. And the reason this is so important to me is whenever I read about an app, I download it immediately. I test it out. Sometimes I keep it on the phone. Sometimes, I erase it after I learn about it, that type of thing. The third thing is something on the iOS called Passbook. Passbook is interesting. I understand in the new version of iOS, they're going to change the name of this, but this is actually where you do Apple Pay from, and you have all your loyalty cards. So the credit cards are in there. And the way Apple Pay works, for those of you who don't know about electronic payment, it's the end of people really seeing your cards and your numbers. So every time you use the phone to pay in a place that accepts it, the cards come up and it sends an authorization, but does not send your numbers, doesn't send any codes, and Google has Google Pay now, and there are several other options, but I use Apple Pay, and I have my credit cards in there.
And you're using it on a regular basis?
I use it on a regular basis.
I've never seen anybody use that. That's why I was asking.
Oh, it's one of those things that's really interesting because the iPhone has the thumb print. All you have to do, you don't even have to turn the phone on. You set your primary card that you want to use generally, and anytime I go touch the terminal, when it's ready to be paid at a store, you just put your phone and you touch the terminal. You don't turn it on, and you just keep your finger on the fingerprint
Wait, the
scanner.
terminal at the store or the phone?
At the store.
You touch the terminal at the store, and that.
So you know where you
Target. You're at Target.
Okay. So you know where you slip your card in.
Yep.
To pay.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of slipping your card in, you take your phone, and the total comes up, and you just touch the unit with your phone. And I have my finger on the fingerprint scanner, and it goes ding, and it's paid. So you don't even have to turn on your phone. You don't have to do anything.
Nice.
It's just, you just pay that way.
Sounds dangerous to girls. Too easy.
Right. It is easy. They said that about credit cards, honestly.
They are. It's still dangerous to have a credit card in my hands.
Because I remember when we were young, when all of a sudden credit cards came into being and everybody said, you don't realize you're actually spending money when you use a credit card. Mm-hmm. Because in the old days, people had to pay. And you started with $20 in your pocket, and you ended up with $18, after you had lunch or whatever. But anyway.
The fun ended when you were out of cash.
That's right. So I have my what's called Passbook now. It will be changed. The name will be changed to Wallet. Next to that, I actually use Dark Sky. That's a weather app. And that's the app I really recommend if you want to know exactly to the minute when it's going to rain or thunder. So that's good. Then my morning starts. I have all my tech apps that I read in the morning, and they are like Engadget or Boy Genius Reports or 9 to 5 Mac or iMore.
And they have icons on your front page?
That's right. I have them all in little folders. I keep folders. This is called the news folder.
Oh.
But there are 2 apps here that I highly recommend right now. One is Flipboard. Now, Flipboard is where you go in and you create your own magazine or newspaper. You say, I want to see tech news here. I'd like international news here. And it picks from all the various news sources that it has connections and creates a newspaper just for you.
Wow.
And so I'll read, it's a collection of everything I like to read from News On. But I also like to read, I also have my BBC app in there. And the reason I like the BBC News is we're very, in America, we're very American-centric about all our news, whereas the BBC gives you a much more a broader view of news around the world. So I keep in a little folder, it's called News, and I keep all my news apps, and I do keep my New York Times app in there also. Then I have my entertainment folder, which you'll love this because most of you use one of these. I keep my Amazon Instant Video in there. I keep my Netflix. I keep the TV Guide app. I keep Hulu. I keep PBS. And I keep all the Xfinity apps.
So you do watch TV on your phone?
I do, and I only got through 2 lines. All right. So we'll talk more about it next week. So that's some of the apps that I use. And if you have any questions, remember Yak About Tech in all the social media. So if you know how to use Facebook, it's Yak About Tech. If you know how to use Twitter, it's Yak About Tech. If you don't know my email address, I'll tell you right now, it's yakabouttech@gmail.com. So to all you guys, I'll see you next week. And don't forget to watch the video, and I'll show you all these apps on the video, okay?
Find us on live stream.
Live stream, Planet Vero TV, Yak About Tech.